Tonight, the topic of the talk is characteristics of a Sotapanna. It is very important to know the characteristics of a Sotapanna so that you will know how to become a Sotapanna. Sotapanna, actually, most of us know as the first fruition Arya. It is also known as Sotapatti Pala. Pala is fruit, Sotapatti is stream entry. So it's the attainment of the fruit of stream entry. That's a Sotapanna. When you analyze this Pali word Sotapanna, we find Sota has two meanings. It's either used as an ear, like Dibba Sota, the heavenly ear, or divine ear, and the other meaning is stream. Apanna means entered or penetrated. So Sotapanna means a person who has entered the stream. You can also say it is a person whose ear has been penetrated by the Dhamma. So that is Sotapanna. So just now I mentioned Sotapanna also means Sotapatti Pala. Sotapatti is a stream enterer. Sometimes we have this confusion, stream enterer, and we think it's a path attainer, and some people think it's a fruit attainer. So in Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi's translation, he translates Sotapanna as stream enterer. But then Sotapatti, the first path attainer, is also a person who has entered the stream. So it's also a stream enterer. So to differentiate the two, I prefer to call the Sotapanna the stream winner. And the first path attainer is one who has entered the stream. Now, since it is a Sotapatti Pala, so we have to know what is stream entry, Sotapatti. In the Sangyutta Nikaya, under the Okanti Sangyutta, which is chapter 25 of the Sangyutta Nikaya, the first sutta, it talks about the two types of path attainer. One is called the Saddha Nusarin, faith follower. The second one is called the Dhamma Nusarin, Dhamma follower. Only two types. There are only two types of first path attainer. And it is said that the faith follower, the Saddha Nusarin, is one who places faith in the Dhamma and resolves on them. And the Dhamma follower, Dhamma Nusarin, is the one who accepts the Dhamma after having pondered on them. So the first one places faith in the Dhamma. The second one accepts the Dhamma. So to have faith in the Dhamma, you must listen to the Dhamma, isn't it? Then you understand the Dhamma. Then only you can have faith in the Dhamma, And the other one, the Dhamma Nusarin, Dhamma follower, accepts the Dhamma after having pondered on them. From here you can see both of them have listened to the Dhamma. And the first one has faith on the Dhamma. The second one accepts the Dhamma and has understood the Dhamma because he has pondered on it. Now the sutta continues to say the characteristics of these two first path attainers. They have transcended the plane of the ordinary worldlings. The ordinary worldlings are the Putujana, ordinary people who go round and round the cycle of rebirth, samsara. So if they have transcended the plane of the Putujana, they are Arya. So the first path attainer is an Arya. That is why when the Buddha talks about the Aryans, he talks about 8 types of Aryans. The first path, the first fruit, second path, second fruit, third path, third fruit, and fourth path, fourth fruit. And all Arahants and all Buddhas come under the fourth fruit category. So The first thing is these first path attainers are Aryans. And then it also says they are incapable of rebirth in the three woeful planes. You will never fall down into the woeful planes. That means the rebirth as a ghost, rebirth as an animal, and rebirth in the hell realm. They will never take rebirth there. That is very important because samsara, we can be reborn in 5 destinations of rebirth. Later books talk about 6. Liu Tao Lun Hui, they talk about 6 destinations of rebirth. But in the original suttas, the Buddha only talked about 5 types of rebirth planes. The first 2, heavenly and the human plane, are happy destinations of rebirth. The 3 woeful planes of rebirth I just mentioned just now, so that makes up 5. Now, samsara is very frightening only because of these 3 woeful planes of rebirth. If you are not going to fall into the 3 woeful planes of rebirth, then there's no need to get out of samsara, isn't it? Stay on, enjoy yourself as a human being, as a deva or devi, isn't it? So, now the Arya will never be reborn into the 3 woeful planes. That's another characteristic. Then the third one mentioned, they are incapable of dying without attaining the fruit of stream entry. Sotapanna Pala. They are incapable of dying without attaining the fruit of stream entry. This means at the last moment, even if they don't, from path, they don't turn to fruit, at the very last moment when they are dying, they will automatically attain the fruit. So actually it hints that the path and the fruit takes some time. Later books like the Abhidhamma, they say that when you attain the path, immediately the next conscious moment, it becomes fruit. If that is the case, you will never meet a path attainer, because before you can say, hello, he has become a fruit attainer, the next conscious moment, isn't it? So, the suttas actually indicate that the path and the fruit take some time. Normally it will take a few years. And this is verified in 2 suttas. One is the Majjhima Nikaya 142, Dakkhina Vibhanga Sutta, where the Buddha talks about the merit of giving to different persons. So it is mentioned that even if you give an offering to 100 first path attainers, the merit is less than giving to 1 Sotapanna, first fruit attainer. That being the case, it means you can give to a first path attainer. If you can give to a first path attainer, he does not exist for only one conscious moment. He's there for you to give, isn't it? So from this sutta, it's quite evident that you can give to path attainers, that they don't exist only for one conscious moment. The other sutta is Samyutta Nikaya 55.24. And it's mentioned there that the first path attainer has not yet attained confirmed confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Whereas the first fruit attainer has attained confirmed confidence, avijja pasada, in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. So, you can see here that the path attainer, because he has not yet turned to fruit, his confidence is not confirmed yet. So these two show that after you attain stream entry, it takes some time before it turns to fruit. Now, it's also mentioned in this sutta that the Sotapanna is one who knows and sees the Dhamma. One who knows and sees the Dhamma. And this person also has all the characteristics mentioned before. And in addition, it is said that the Sotapanna is fixed in destiny, with enlightenment as his destination. That means no matter what happens, even if he does not make any effort, he will definitely attain enlightenment. And in other suttas, it is mentioned not more than 7 lifetimes. Within the maximum of 7 lifetimes, he will automatically enter Nibbana. So these are the things mentioned in this sutta 25.1. So I recap. The path attainer and the fruit attainer have transcended the plane of the ordinary worldlings, have become an Arya, and so they are incapable of rebirth in the woeful planes. And the path attainer is incapable of dying without attaining the fruit of stream entry. And then the Sotapanna is fixed in destiny, with enlightenment as his destination. Now we look at another sutta, Sangyutta Nikaya 55.5. This is under the Sotapatti Sangyutta. It is mentioned there are 4 factors or conditions for stream entry. Sotapatti Yangani. In other words, to attain stream entry, there are 4 conditions. First, association with true men, Sappurisa. Second, hearing the true Dhamma. Third, focus attention or proper attention. And fourth is practice of the Dhamma in accordance with the Dhamma. Dhamma no Dhamma patti patti. So the first one, association with true men. Who are true men? True men, Sappurisa, this word also means Aryans. Those who understand the true Dhamma. Because only because they understand the true Dhamma, you can hear the true Dhamma from them. The true Dhamma is called Sat Dhamma. And what is Sat Dhamma? It's very important to know what is the real Dhamma. In the Anguttara Nikaya 4.180, the Buddha said, certain monks might say, the Buddha said this and the Buddha said that, and some elder monks, Changlao, they also might say, I heard the Buddha say this and that. But the Buddha said, when they claim anything to be the Buddha's teachings, you should not accept it and you should not reject it. Instead, you should compare it with the suttas and the Vinaya. If it agrees with the suttas and the Vinaya, then you know it is the Buddha's words. If it does not agree with the suttas and the Vinaya, then the Buddha said, it is definitely not the Buddha's words and throw it away. So, the Vinaya only concerns monks and nuns. So, for the more important one is the Dhamma. And the Dhamma here refers to the suttas. And also in the Vinaya books and the suttas, the Buddha mentioned that his true Dhamma will last 500 years. Later books talk about 5,000 years, but actually the Buddha mentioned 500 years. And what he means is that within 500 years, the Dhamma will not be polluted. After 500 years, the Dhamma will be polluted. So we want to know what is the Dhamma within these 500 years after the Buddha passed away. Luckily, we have Emperor Asoka, who lived about 250 years after the Buddha's passing away. Emperor Asoka had a lot of faith in the Buddha, so he erected these pillars, what are called Asoka pillars, stone pillars, along the roads for people to see. Maybe every 1 kilometer, he will erect this stone pillar. And nowadays, archaeologists have dug up these pillars and they find carved out the words of the Buddha on these pillars, and they confirm that during Emperor Asoka's time there were only 5 Nikayas: the Digha Nikaya, long discourses of the Buddha; Majjhima Nikaya, Sangyutta Nikaya, Anguttara Nikaya, and the last one, Khuddaka Nikaya, the minor collection. So these are the only Dhamma that existed during Emperor Asoka's time, meaning this is the only Dhamma during the Buddha's time, because the Buddha said 500 years period is the true Dhamma. And this word, the third condition, yoniso manasikara, which I translate as focus attention. Sometimes they say careful attention. And in Chinese they say 如理思维. So this word means that when you listen to the Dhamma, you are focused on listening to the Dhamma. In other words, at that time, you don't have the 5 hindrances. If that is so, then you can understand the Dhamma and attain stream entry. So who are the people who do not have the 5 hindrances? In the suttas, it is stated by the Buddha that as long as a person has not attained piti and sukha, which are secluded from unwholesome states, which are secluded from sensual pleasures, the 5 hindrances will obsess him and obsess him habitually. So there are 2 types of persons who do not have the 5 hindrances. One is when I mentioned just now, the Buddha said secluded from unwholesome states and secluded from sensual pleasures, he attains piti and sukha. That refers to the first jhana. So when a person attains the first jhana, he has eliminated the 5 hindrances. And the Buddha says the 5 hindrances no longer obsess that person habitually. So there are 2 conditions if a person has the hindrances. Firstly, it obsesses your mind, it enslaves your mind. And secondly, it is habitual, it is very often there. So that's why you find sometimes in newspapers, somebody rapes the daughter or rapes the granddaughter because he cannot control. These hindrances overwhelm his mind, obsess his mind. So that is one person who, after they attain the first jhana, the Buddha says the 5 hindrances are eliminated. A lot of people don't believe this because they don't really understand the hindrances. If I ask you what are the hindrances, a lot of people will say sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry and doubt. Yeah? But these are not the 5 hindrances. These are called the 5 hindrances when they obsess your mind, when they enslave your mind, and they recur habitually. Only then they are called the 5 hindrances. So, when a person attains the first jhana, these 5 hindrances reduce to a low level. They are still there, but they are not called hindrances anymore. It's just like if you walk through the jungle, you have 7 feet high lalang, long grass obstructing you. It's a hindrance because you try to go through it, you cannot see in front of you. Secondly, it cuts you, cuts your skin. So it's a big hindrance. But if I cut down that lalang to 12 inches, is it a hindrance? It's no more hindrance. But it's obviously there, isn't it? 12 inches of lalang, everybody can see. But it's not called a hindrance anymore because it's so low. Yeah? But it's still observable. Yeah? So when a person attains the first jhana, it's like the 7 feet lalang has cut down to 12 inches. When he attains the second jhana, the 12 inches becomes 8 inches. When he attains the third jhana, it becomes 4 inches. When he attains the fourth jhana, it becomes 1 millimeter. So little. So there's a big difference between the first 3 jhanas and the fourth jhana. So that's why it is said that once a person attains the first jhana, the hindrances are eliminated, meaning generally eliminated for good. The other type of person who does not have the 5 hindrances, habitually obsessing his mind, is an intelligent person, a person with a high IQ. Normally a person born with a high IQ, he has good concentration, and that was obtained from a previous life. A very good example is Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein, you give him a long mathematical problem which we cannot calculate in our head. He will just close his eyes, do the whole calculation that you need to do on a calculating machine, and he come up with the answer and write it down. Yeah? So it shows he has great concentration. So people who are intelligent, they are able to focus their mind. That's very important. A scatterbrained person cannot be an intelligent person. The mind is so scattered. So these are the two types of persons. One, because of previous life, is born very intelligent. He can focus his mind. The second person is one who has attained the jhanas. Then the fourth condition, practice of the Dhamma in accordance with the Dhamma. So he keeps practicing the Dhamma and he will attain stream entry. Now, this fourth condition may not be necessary for some people. We find in the suttas, many people, when they listen to the Buddha speaking the Dhamma, even for the first time, they attain stream entry. The Buddha confirms this. But some people, after they listen, it doesn't click immediately. They go back, they think about it, and then it clicks, and then they understand the Dhamma and attain the stream entry. So this practice of the Dhamma in accordance with the Dhamma is, after he has listened, he starts to recall the Dhamma or investigate more of the Dhamma. And then after some time, then the pieces fall into place like a jigsaw puzzle, and then he sees the Dhamma. So that is why the fourth condition is put. Now in this Sutta 55.5, it is mentioned that the word Sota for the Sotapanna means the stream, and it refers to the Noble Eightfold Path. So when we look at another Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya 117, it is said, the Buddha says, that if you want to practice the Noble Eightfold Path, you must come to the first factor, right view. And the Buddha says, right view will bring you to the second factor, right thoughts, which will bring you to right speech, which will bring you to right action, which will bring you to right livelihood, which will bring you to right effort, which will bring you to right recollection, and finally, right concentration. So it is said, you must always enter the Noble Eightfold Path from the first factor, right view. That's very important. That's why you see, like in India, we have many yogis who have perfected meditation, so much so that they have psychic powers. But because they don't have right view, they cannot become a Sotapanna. So you can practice years and years and years like these yogis, and yet you'll never become a Sotapanna unless you listen to the Buddha Suttas. So this is also said that the Sotapanna is one who is endowed with the Noble Eightfold Path. Because of this sentence, there are certain monks who say that the Sotapanna needs jhana, because the Sotapanna is endowed with the Noble Eightfold Path. But if you look at other suttas, this is not so. Because in the Anguttara Nikaya 3.86 and 9.12, it is said that of the four types of fruit attainers, the Sotapanna, Sakadagamin, Anagamin, and Arahan, the Sotapanna and the Sakadagamin have perfect sila. The Noble Eightfold Path can be said to be also three things: sila, samadhi, panya, which is moral conduct, concentration, and wisdom, right? So it is said that the Sotapanna and the Sakadagamin have perfect sila, perfect moral conduct. The Anagamin has perfect sila and samadhi. And the Arahan has perfect sila, samadhi, and panya. This perfect concentration, samadhi, perfect concentration, is always said to be the four jhanas. Yeah. So the Sotapanna and the Sakadagamin do not have the four jhanas. But there is a difference between the Sotapanna and the Sakadagamin. The Sakadagamin, in addition to destroying the three fetters that Sotapanna has destroyed, the Sakadagamin has reduced greed, hatred, and delusion. greed, hatred and delusion is connected with the hindrances, which is connected with concentration. So, I believe that the Sotapanna does not need any jhana, because there are many suttas that show this. But the Sakadagamin needs either the first or the second or the third jhana. The Sakadagamin, the second fruit attainer. Whereas the Anagamin and Arahant, they need 4 jhanas. They have perfect concentration. So, is what I have to say here. Now, I'd like to quote you another sutta, which is in the Bojjhanga Samyutta, about the factors of enlightenment. It talks about how a person practices the Bojjhangas, the way to enlightenment. And this is not the only sutta. There are other suttas, for example, the Majjhima Nikaya 95 Chanki Sutta, which talks about the gradual practice, the gradual progress of a person. And he says that first you have to draw near a teacher. For a person to draw near a teacher, that person must be spiritually mature. And then he's ready to practice a spiritual path, so he starts searching. Then he comes across a monk, and the Buddha says he should examine the monk to see whether he has greed, hatred and delusion. If he sees that the monk does not have greed, hatred and delusion, then he has faith in the monk. And then when he has faith in the monk, he shows respect to the monk and frequently visits the monk. And when he does this, he gets a chance to listen to the Dhamma from the monk. And if the monk is an Arya, then he will teach the true Dhamma, which is the Buddha's Dhamma. And when this person listens to the Dhamma, he can possibly attain stream entry here. But even if he does not, the Dhamma affects him in a way that the Buddha says in the Bojjhanga Samyutta, that after hearing the Dhamma, he dwells withdrawn. He dwells withdrawn. 2 types of withdrawal, body and mind. Then he recollects the Dhamma and thinks it over. And it's mentioned in this Bojjhanga Samyutta, when he recollects the Dhamma and thinks it over, on that occasion, the enlightenment factor of recollection, sati, is aroused by the monk. On that occasion, the enlightenment factor, Bojjhanga, of sati, is developed by the monk. On that occasion, the enlightenment factor of sati is fulfilled by the monk. So you see here, this word sati, according to the Buddha here, means remembering the Dhamma that you have heard. Recollecting the Dhamma that you have heard. That is the meaning of sati. And then, after recollecting the Dhamma, the Buddha says, he investigates the Dhamma with wisdom. On that occasion, the enlightenment factor of Dhamma Vichaya, investigation of Dhamma, is aroused by the monk. On that occasion, the enlightenment factor of investigation of Dhamma is developed by the monk. On that occasion, the enlightenment factor of investigation of Dhamma is fulfilled by the monk. So, there are some people at this stage, after they investigate the Dhamma and they understand, then they attain stream entry. Then after that, the Buddha says, he puts forth energy, virya. This is the third Bojjhanga, enlightenment factor. And from there, because he puts forth effort, he meditates and all that, he attains piti, delight, then tranquility, etc., which are connected with the jhanas. So, this is the way that the Buddha says a person develops the Bojjhangas.